Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Kaplan and crew with Grande and the Brown Man. And as always, we come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. To all of our great friends in Southern California that have been with us for 20 plus years on local radio, we're glad you guys are here. Maybe you're in our live YouTube chat that's happening right now, youtube.com/Kaplan and crew. Maybe you're tuning in on Sirius XM channel 159 anywhere around Southern California or all over the country. To all my boys out in Philadelphia, New York, Atlanta, Miami. Glad everybody can get in their car and turn on the radio right now. And to everybody who's watching on SportsGrid TV, whether you're watching on a Roku, Amazon Prime, Fubo, Samsung TVs, Vizios, Fire Sticks, and other devices that I don't even know what the hell they are. Glad you're all with us today, watching, listening, tuning in, engaging, and being with the great friends today here on Kaplan and Crew. Now, as we get started, Grande Brown Man, I'm going to tell you guys right now, in front of me, I've got on the early game between the Pirates and the Padres. And oh man, what a win last night for San Diego, while at the same time, well, actually just a little bit later, the Dodgers were losing to Philadelphia. And wait a second, here come the Padres, here come the Diamondbacks, and the Dodgers don't seem so invincible. We'll get to that story. I'm also trying to keep my eyes on the Olympics because what I saw last night was unbelievable. The men's 400. What is the name of the guy who just kept going and giving this crazy effort? And it just didn't even look like his form was great. It just looked like he was giving everything he could give. And he got done. He had that big old grill all over his toofuses. What is that dude's name? I don't even know that guy. Quincy Hall. That guy's incredible. We got more track and field stuff that's happening today at the Olympics while we're on the air live. So, man, we got a ton to get to. And by the way, when we get done, then we're going to have the USA basketball game against Serbia. So there's like in the early part of the day, you got to understand everybody on the East Coast, it's only 10:04 in the morning out here on the West Coast, 1:04 in the afternoon on the East Coast. We got a lot of live sports happening right now as we jump onto these airwaves. Guys, Grande, Brown Man, how we living, fellas?
Doing great. I also, just as a person that's lived in Southern California his whole life, I also had another great thing that happened this morning, a high-speed chase at 9:30 this morning.
Oh, really?
Fillmore, 130 miles an hour on the freeway, on the shoulder, dude.
Where's this at?
It's over now, but this morning around 9:20, I was watching on YouTube or whatever it was. This dude was going. It was three dudes in one car going 130 miles per hour. I was like, dude, this is like a SoCal resident. That's like a sport too. You hope everybody, you hope no one crashes. Obviously, you hope no one really seriously gets injured. But that stuff is like must-watch TV.
Yeah, but
my wife always makes fun of me.
I had my nephew text me the other day and go, "Yo, you see this police chase in L.A.?" Because he's new to it. I said, man, what are you talking about? That's like three times a week, man.
How do we drop odds on high-speed chases as soon as they're live?
That's what we need to do. Over-unders.
But let me ask you a question, though.
Pit maneuver. Will this finish with a pit maneuver?
Yeah. Will this finish with the police beating the hell out of this guy? Will this finish with this guy hitting somebody who's completely innocent in all of this?
Will you see a canine?
Right. Yeah. Let me ask you this, though. If you're doing 130 miles an hour on the freeway, what kind of car was this dude driving?
Oh, it looked like a crappy sedan. I have no idea what kind of car it was, but he didn't care about it. And thankfully, he was driving reckless. Thankfully, the chase itself was only like 12 minutes long.
Wow.
And then he started running all three of them dispersed.
Yeah.
And then they started climbing fences and jumping walls. All of a sudden,
in the same direction?
No, two of them stayed together. One of them was a smart one and left. Two of them were jumping fences, right? And they got to this wall in someone's backyard, and this giant black dog starts biting their pants as they're trying to jump. I was like, yes, go, get him. Get him.
Sick him, boy. Sick him.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Dude, 130 miles an hour is flying, especially if you're in a crappy car. This past weekend, when I was driving back and forth to Mammoth, I'm driving Rachel's Range Rover. Now, dude, this car is about 2 years old, and it's a sports car. It just happens to be in SUV form. And, dude, you have it in drive, and then you click it over to sport mode, and the fastest I went was 101 miles an hour because I passed a bunch of people. I love that feeling of like looking, can I get past this truck? There's a couple of cars in front, but there's nobody coming my way. And then boom. and you go flying by. And I was like, and I got back over 101 miles an hour. And that's fast, real fast in a Range Rover. Can you imagine 130 miles an hour in a piece of crap like old school Camry or something?
Crazy, dude. Crazy.
Sure
man.
can't.
I know. All right, so listen, we're just getting going. Like I said, there's a lot of live sports happening right now as we get onto the airwaves. The one that we're focusing in on, Padres Pirates, and at last look, Padres had a 4-0 lead after a huge win last night. We're going to get to that story because as the Padres won and as the Dodgers lost, the Padres inched closer and closer. And we had this conversation yesterday. When was the last time the San Diego Padres were this close to first place this late in the season? We had to go back to, I want to say it was 2010 when the Padres were actually in first place this late in the season. So we'll get to that. Plus, my son, who's 24 years old, who lives in Pittsburgh, is at the game, and he's going to dial in and report from the game for us. We'll see how that all plays out. Plus, former Padres all-star second baseman and now current front office executive Mark Loretta will stop by. He's one of our close friends. And for those of you that are around the country, Loretta played in Houston. He played in Boston. He played in L.A. So he's a great guy. You guys are all going to love him. Everybody local already knows and loves Mark Loretta. Before we get really kicked off here, I want to ask you guys a question. I'll start with you, Grande. You're wearing that Foo Fighters t-shirt. Last night, the Foo Fighters played here in San Diego at Petco Park. Tomorrow, Friday, they play at BMO Stadium in LA, and then Sunday they play at BMO in LA. I don't love stadium shows, but I love the Foo Fighters. I didn't go last night. I don't have plans to go this weekend. You tell me. How was it?
Never seen them before. They were the final, and I say this genuinely, they were the final big rock band that I needed to check off my list.
Okay.
Like, I've never seen them, never seen Dave Grohl, nowhere near them. Didn't even realize they were coming to town until about Monday.
By the way, Dave Grohl, I saw Dave Grohl at the Forum in LA about 2 years ago when Taylor Hawkins, the drummer from Foo Fighters, had just recently died. And Dave Grohl put on a concert of a who's who of superstar comedians and rock stars that were performing to honor Taylor Hawkins. And it was by far and away the greatest rock and roll show I've ever been to. And there'll never be anything quite like it. So I love Dave Grohl and I love the Foo Fighters, but you were saying you had to check these guys.
I love Dave Grohl so much more now after seeing him live and seeing him what he does for 3 hours. Like the stamina of his vocal cords is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen at a concert, man. Like, it is a straight up rock show. I saw Blink-182 at Petco Park 3 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it was. That's a punk show. That's three dudes. That's a bassist. That's a guitarist. That's a drummer. That's a punk show. What I saw last night was a straight up rock show. I'm telling you, like a real band, like 4 guitars, pianist, whatever you want to call them, drummer. It was epic, and I'm so glad I got to see him. 3 hours,
dude,
on a Wednesday. It's a really long time, though. I didn't get home until like midnight. I was tired.
But what Dave Grohl does that I love more than, and I wish other people did more of it, he talks to the crowd. And I assume he did that last night. And I've seen the Foo Fighters many times. One of the best shows ever was in Atlanta at a Super Bowl show, like a direct TV party. And the Foo Fighters played there, which was awesome. But I love the Foo Fighters. I saw them at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. What was the name of that festival they used to have? Brown, you remember that festival? Kaboo. I saw them at Kaboo. That was an incredible show. I love the Foo Fighters. I don't love stadium shows. I didn't go last night. I don't have plans this weekend, but I'm glad you went. So you got tickets at the last minute?
Tickets at the last minute. Shout out Game Time. Sat in like that Lexus Premier Club. Not my favorite. The crowd around me kind of sucked. They sat down most of the show. The lights above us were still on because we were like kind of not a suite, but we were near suites. Still epic show. So glad I went. Shout out to the Foo Fighters and Dave Grohl. Epic, dude.
All right. Now hold on a second, because I want to also ask my man Browner here. Yesterday was Big Brown's birthday. So when you have your birthday on a Wednesday night, do you actually do anything? We're just getting going. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. We'll get to all the baseball news coming right back. This is Kaplan and Crew.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching him, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League, 2 stud tight ends. They're legit 5 deep at receiver, 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Shane back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, like, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Facebook, on YouTube. We're glad you guys are all here. All of our SportsGrid TV viewers, all of our SportsGrid radio listeners, channel 159 on Sirius XM. Just glad to have everybody along. Absolutely loving what we've got going on right now with SportsGrid and broadcasting nationally on Sirius XM. Browner, I just want to find out, man, how was the birthday yesterday?
It was good, man. I had a good time. We took the kids out to the beach. We ran around on the water, took them to swim class. My daughter had her first swim class yesterday. So that was, touching in a way. Due to the circumstance, the morning was hard, but the afternoon was good.
And whatever happened with that van that you bought that was going to be wrapped by Life Brew, that was going to be the Browner Familia beach van, whatever happened with that whole thing?
It is missing an ignition. It's missing an ignition chip. I know the word is chip, but it's not a chip because it's a 77 van. And that needs to be replaced. And it's super hard to find because it's a 77 van. So I'm working on it.
Really?
Right
so
now,
you
it
haven't...
currently doesn't start up.
Let me to find this piece, where are you looking? I'm curious.
The internet and part stores.
Okay.
Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly's, Pep Boys, all over the place.
Let me tell you.
I'm gonna have a mechanic come here to look at it to make sure that that's what it is. Because I can't find the part, so that might not even be what it is, and it might just be I was given misinformation. So
okay, let me tell you what you should do. Let me give you a small piece of unsolicited advice. Take it or leave it, your choice. Here's what you should do. Remember yesterday, everybody, we were talking about how Blenders Eyewear has this promotion going on right now where if you get the same tattoo as the founder, Chase Fisher, right here on your wrist, you get $2,000 worth of store credit. And we immediately had Tommy, Fat Tony, Bernard Thompson, and other people like run to tattoo parlors to get their little Blenders tattoo so they get $2,000 worth of sunglasses. Now, for some of you listening, you're going to be like, what? $2,000 for sunglasses for a tattoo? I don't want a tattoo for only $2,000. Me neither. Okay? I don't either. But a lot of people are like, hey, it's a tiny little tattoo. I'm already all inked out. I'm already inked out and I don't care. I'll take that thing and I want those $2,000 worth of sunglasses. By the way, if you buy Blenders Eyewear, blenderseyewear.com, you use our code Kaplan, you'll save 20%. So Alex, maybe you could put the QR code up on the screen for everybody that's watching. There's the QR code. Click on that. You use our code Kaplan, you save 20%. Okay. Call Fat Tony, Browner. Fat Tony is connected to everybody. There's all these junkyards of cars sitting in Chula Vista, right on the border of San Diego and Tijuana. Okay. In those cars, they have parts. And if Fat Tony calls down to one of his boys and he says, hey, my man is looking for this piece from a 1977 Chevy, whatever that thing is called.
GMC Vander.
Yeah, that. He'll find the part for you, dog.
But that's what I'm saying. I got to make sure that's the part that's missing, because I think I was given some misinformation about the inner workings, because it's the wiring. It's not the physical. I fixed the physical part that was giving it issue. Now I think it's a wiring issue.
Okay, well, we'll find out. All right, we are just getting started today. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, and this segment of Kaplan and Crew is being brought to us by our friends at Blenders Eyewear, blenderseyewear.com. Use the code Kaplan, and you're saving 20% on all those brand new sunglasses like these right here. These are bomb. I love the color, this like sky blue. I love the lenses because you can't see through. I think they're kind of obnoxious, but yet I like that sort of a thing. They're just amazing frames. They're incredible lenses, and the price point is so good that instead of buying one pair, like you go to the mall, you buy a pair of sunglasses for $300, you break them, you lose them, you scratch them, you're pissed. With these, you buy 3, 4, 5 pairs, and every time you go someplace, people are like, yo, nice glasses. 20% off when you use the code Kaplan. All right, let's start off with this, guys.
Can I transition for you?
Please.
Oh.
I think this is a very smooth transition.
Please.
Blenders sponsors Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado and Primes. What is their motto?
We coming.
You know who's coming?
Who dat?
The Padres.
Transition. Great transition. Bang. Yeah. Padres are coming. By the way, you can't. Padres are coming. So are the Diamondbacks. Just by the way,
That's what I'm
Diamondbacks.
saying. Like, I don't know how long the Padres are gonna be able to say this. I don't know if they're gonna be able to keep this up. I don't know if the Dodgers are gonna keep slipping down the standings because they're about to get healthy. But for right now, in this moment, the way the Padres have been playing baseball for the last 2 months, not really 2 months, last month.
Yeah, since the All-Star break, really, because before the All-Star break, they lost 6 of 7 games going in.
They coming.
Oh.
You really can't deny it. The Dodgers, before the All-Star break, had lost 6 of 7. The Padres had lost 6 of 7. So while the Padres had an opportunity to catch up on the Dodgers, they didn't. Coming out of the All-Star break, the Dodgers got off to a very hot start. The Padres got off to a very hot start. But here's what's happened, in particular in the last couple of days. The Padres have consistently won games and won series, and the Dodgers, in particular, lost this series against Philadelphia. And granted, Philadelphia is a much better team that just beat LA than Pittsburgh is, which the Padres have already won this series, and they're up 4-0 right now, and they're trying to sweep this series. But the Pirates are a team that is scratching and clawing and trying to get their way into the wild card. And oh, by the way, Philadelphia will leave LA, go play in Arizona, where Arizona's been on fire, and Pittsburgh will leave home after this game today and go fly to LA and play the Dodgers for the next few games. And the easiest of all of them is the Padres, who are going to Miami. So with a 3-game lead right now that the Dodgers have over the Padres, and by the way, with Arizona having the same record, but yet having to play Philadelphia, I'm telling you guys right now, by Monday, the whole NL West could be different than what it currently is right now.
Yep.
Now, Browner, why do you give me that look? Well, I don't get it. You got to enjoy this while it's happening. And by the way, I'm glad you make that look, because I got a lot of fans who are hitting me up going, you're going to be able to stick it to Browner, because I kept telling you, you go for the division. You don't just give up the division. Hey, I'm playing for second place. When you are now only 3 games back and you're going to Miami, and LA is going to host a playoff contender, and Philly is going to go to Arizona, dude, this is the time. You don't agree?
I've said it repeatedly. You're mischaracterizing what I'm saying, but we'll get to it.
All right. Well, I don't want to mischaracterize. You tell us what you're saying. Stick around. This is Kaplan and Crew. What a night last night in the National League West, and we're getting ready for the start of the NFL season. Stick around.
try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Shane back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The bottom of this field is a bunch of guys, quite frankly, that aren't on the tour, aren't on the DP tour, aren't on the Corn Ferry tour.
You know, the top 25 or so in this field, I mean, you've got Rory, you've got Lowry, you've got Scheffler, you know, all 4 Americans, Minwoo Lee and Jason Day. And you go to Mito Pereira and Joaquin Neiman out of Chile. So, you know, it really is pretty deep.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Just playing for second place, and we're not just playing to get into the wild card. The Padres should be playing to win the division, in particular this year, because the Dodgers haven't had Yamamoto, and Kershaw's only had 3 starts, and Buehler never really made it all the way back, and a lot of their young pitchers did not improve this year. Mookie Betts has been hurt. Freddie Freeman missed 8 games. Max Muncy has missed like 45 games. So what have I mischaracterized when I said that the Padres should go for the division and you said the division is unwinnable? What did I mischaracterize?
That I said, and I will continue to say this, that if your sole focus is on a division, leave me out of that. Keep playing consistent baseball and get in the playoffs, because divisions are irrelevant. They're pointless. They're in baseball. The division used to mean that was your only way to get into the playoffs. We don't operate in professional sports like that anymore because of the money that's involved. The more teams that are active at the end of the year, the higher the attendance, the higher the attention. So baseball has gotten wise to what basketball has been doing forever and what football is now doing. More playoff teams, better the sport, better the season, better engagement. Baseball's now doing that. So whether you win a division or not is not the end-all, be-all. You don't necessarily get anything extra other than to say, "Oh, we won the division."
You don't get any home field, no home field advantage of any kind.
Again, you get extra tickets. You as an ownership group, you get more money. That's about it. That's about it. The wins and losses. Fans care about wins or losses. They don't, whether you win on the home or whether you win on the road, it doesn't matter. Winning, you're going to have to win some road games anyway, period, if you want to be the champ. So miss me with that.
So there is no advantage to winning the division.
In my opinion.
No, I'm asking like factually speaking. There is no, like, is there not an advantage? If you win the division, do you not have more home games theoretically?
In theory, yeah. The only time having the best record overall, that absolutely is important because you get that. Now you don't have to win a road game. You can win the home games only and win the championship. But they're not going to get that.
All right. Yeah, Alex, I think I'd much rather win the division. Yeah. I'm just saying, just me personally, I'd much rather win the division and either have a bye week or host a series instead of having to go to New York again and win a best of 3 series, because that's just like a shootout.
And you know why you did that? Because you kept playing when the season ended, and you were able to keep your mojo and your flow going.
Oh, I thought it was Musgrove's greasy ear.
I mean, you know, I put a little grease on there. If you get a week, if this team gets a week off, Then that team comes back rusty.
I
They're
think
not firing the same, and now you fall victim to the wild card craziness.
I don't know where you're coming from, and I don't want to speak for you, but I'll tell you where I'm coming from.
Don't mischaracterize this, man.
I'm not. That's why I said I'm not speaking for Brown. I'm gonna.
Don't
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not
mischaracterize
gonna
that brother
speak for
right there.
one man. I'm not gonna speak for one man. I'm gonna speak for an entire fan base instead. As a Padre fan, it would mean so much to this fan base to win the division against that team. And to me, that is important. Not in the big picture, but the same way that Saturday night when the Padres beat the Dodgers and how important it was for that fan base, this is just as equally as important to me. I genuinely think that the fan base, to win a division, it would mean a significant amount, especially after the season that the Padres just had with the biggest disappointment in franchise history, to bounce back after all the naysayers and stick it in our face and win a division. That would be monstrous. Doesn't mean that it's going to translate into winning a World Series or going to the NLCS. I'm just saying, as a thing for a fan base, as a thing for the city, I think it's huge, and I think they should go for it. And obviously, they're not going to not go for it. They're going to play the games.
Well, given
it
should
be a goal. It should be a goal.
Right. That's what I think. I think it should be a goal. Given the way the way the Dodgers have. Just give me one second. The way the Dodgers have dominated this division in the last 10 or 12 years.
What's it got them?
Where they've won, I want to say 10 of 11 divisions.
What's it got them?
It got them nothing. But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean it's not going to get the Padres something. Or by the way, the Arizona Diamondbacks something for that matter. I'm just saying, seeing somebody else win the division. Think about it like this: how many years did the Patriots win the division in a row? So for the Bills, for the Dolphins, it's about let's start off with let's win our division. Let's create some home field advantage. That's all I'm trying to say. You're blowing it off like as if it's completely meaningful, and I'm saying that there's some meaning to it.
It's in my opinion. I'm just expressing my opinion. I think the division is, at this point in time in sports, the division is meaningless. So let's just say they win the division.
Mm-hmm.
They get bounced in the first round. We ain't gonna talk about they won the division.
No,
but they got bounced in the first round.
But what if they get to the wild card and they get bounced in the first round? Who cares? It's still getting bounced in the first round. Let's do this. Let's run this by Mark Loretta. Mark Loretta was a great Padre. He was a great Dodger. He was a great Red Sox. And now he's a front office executive. He's up next. This is Kaplan and Crew.
What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Perry on the target. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am.
Combat fighting in its purest form. Bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
For the Red Sox, he played for the Astros, he played for the Dodgers. I'm mentioning all of this because everybody locally knows the deal. But nationally, you may be hearing Mark Loretta on the show for the first time. This segment of Kaplan and Crew is being brought to us by our friends at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services, 858-376-1299. 376-1299, our man Gary Cooper and Mountain Trust Realty Services. Never make a move in real estate without first talking to Gary. All right, Mark is jumping in here. Browner, Grande, here comes Mark Loretta. Mark is now a special assistant to the Padres CEO. Mark, are you there? Can you hear us? How you doing, man?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you. Pretty good. Yeah, you're looking good.
Let me get focus here.
Hey, looking good. Now, do you understand, like, I know that we haven't had a chance to talk too much off air. You know, we're on live now, and we're on channel 159 on Sirius, and we're plastered everywhere all over TV, all over the country. Are you nervous that we're now live and on TV and on Sirius satellite radio nationwide? What do you say, Mark Loretta?
I'm extremely nervous. Shaking my boots.
Is this the biggest?
Is this the biggest?
Is this the biggest stage you've ever been on in your career?
Would have done my hair. Would have maybe gotten a better pair of glasses. But is the video also live nationwide?
Video live nationwide, YouTube right now, but also on SportsGrid television, which is on Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung televisions. I mean, you name it. You can't possibly miss us. You just got to first be able to find us.
You guys are 10-year overnight successes. What happened? This is incredible.
Oh, dude, it's not just 10 years. How about 20 years, man? Well, you know, I don't know if you know about this. I don't know if you heard about this or not, and I'll make this quick because I really want to talk to you about a debate that Browner and I are having. We want you to get in the middle of it. But I don't know if you heard about this or not. But, you know, 1090, the radio station that we were on for 20 years, just recently went from sports talk to, like, Spanish-speaking, like, Catholic talk.
Catholic radio.
Which, by the way, could be perfect for you, Mark, if you spoke Spanish. I don't know if you do or not.
Yeah, I'm a Catholic for sure, and I've tried to learn Spanish, but I don't know if I can get the complete message through Spanish. So I'll stick with English on the religious side of stuff.
Okay, so we left terrestrial radio in Southern California, and we prepared for that departure by moving all of the assets to Sirius XM. So we're now, if you get in your car and you turn on your Sirius, channel 159, we're on every day, 10 to noon Pacific time, live.
Great. I'm a big Sirius lover and subscriber, so I'm on it. I'll put you in my favorites.
Right. Channel 159, put us in your favorites. Yep, 159. Mark, Browner and I are having a debate. We want your opinion on this.
Okay.
I've been saying for weeks that given Mookie Betts being hurt, Clayton Kershaw just coming back, Yamamoto, who hasn't been back, Max Muncy, who's been hurt, Walker Buehler, who didn't make it back this year. I mean, the Dodgers, credit to them, they've got the second best record in the National League. But with all of their injuries, the Padres should be going for the division. And the Padres have been playing their best baseball of the year since the All-Star break. Do you think that there is a benefit to winning the division, which is what I think, or Browner, represent your side to Mark Loretta. Let him judge.
So, Mark, by the way, you look very managerial in your glasses and hat.
Very.
The idea of winning the division, in my opinion, is vastly outdated because of the format now in which baseball is played in from a playoff structure. So most of the teams we see now who win the division, who get the week off, those teams tend to struggle when the playoffs first start. And those are the teams that get knocked out by quote unquote hot teams who snuck in, and all of a sudden now they're riding a wave of momentum. So to me, at this point in professional baseball, the division is irrelevant. Get in the playoffs and play the best baseball you can to get to that point. That's what I think should be the main focus, as opposed to people, putting the division on this pedestal when oftentimes, like we just said previously before you came on, the Dodgers won 10 divisions in a row. They got one World Series in a shortened season.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think I definitely agree with the fact of just get in the playoffs. It's a tournament now. It's tournament style. Just get in. However, even though it has looked that way in the last few years, I do think it is an advantage to have that bye just think about if you've got a guy like Tatis or Cease or Michael King who's up against some innings limits, you're going to have a chance to rest those guys. That should be an advantage. It should be, and I think it's just kind of been a little bit of a quirk the last few years, where you had last year, of course, the Texas and Arizona were both wild cards who made the World Series. So obviously, just get in. That's number one. But number two, I do think the division is important. And the other thing is, you play these 162 games to win your division. And that's a sense of accomplishment. I think it would be big for the Padres to win a division when they haven't won one in so long. And by the way, the Padres don't have any World Series, so let's get in. Let's win the division and see if we can go that way. But it's going to be tough still. I mean, LA's got two teams in their neck now with us and the Diamondbacks, who are playing unbelievably well as well. But yeah, I mean, if we win this game today, we're up 4-0. We'll go into the Dodgers will go into tonight's game, just being up 2.5 games on us. That's pretty close. And
Can I ask you a more let's bring it way back question?
Sure.
Because the Padres are the hottest team in baseball. Them and the Diamondbacks are both the hottest teams in the last 30 days, 60 days, whatever it's been. Is this sustainable for this team? Can they keep this going? Or is this just one of those baseball runs? The White Sox just lost 21 in a row. I know that's ridiculous, but is this just one of those runs that they're going on? Is this sustainable all the way through the end of September for the Padres?
I don't think 800 baseball is sustainable for any team. You're not going to win 8 out of 10 for the rest of the year. That's pretty much unrealistic. Although, the Rockies did that one year in September. They went nuts. But I do think we've talked about this all year. I think we're finally kind of hitting their stride. The pitching's been incredible. I think the offense is. I love the fact that it's built around making contact. They're never out of games. They're great when they're down. They come back from games, et cetera. So to your point, to your question, I wouldn't expect it to be, 800 baseball, but I think they're gonna, they should be well above 500 continuing going on.
Talking to Mark Loretta. Mark Loretta was a great second baseman for the Padres, for the Red Sox, for the Dodgers, for the Astros. He now works in the front office with the San Diego Padres, and he is a longtime great friend here at Kaplan and Crew. Mark, I know this sounds strange, but sometimes when you have your best player or a top player go out and then the team plays better, people go, well, they're better without him. How do you explain the Padres' success without Fernando Tatis?
Great question. I don't think we're better without him, certainly. However, what that does is it creates opportunity for other guys. And you see what Solano has done. Peralta hit another home run today. Guys get opportunities, and they seize it. And I think that's contagious up and down the lineup. That's what guys who maybe have been starters in the past and aren't anymore, or are trying to establish themselves, all they're looking for is opportunities. And I think they're getting all the support they need from the staff and from their teammates. But certainly, I'd like to, I like our lineup with Fernando in it much better. But, hey, the other guys are stepping up, and that's a positive.
See, I think that with the season that you're getting, I'm going to ask a different question because I think this question is actually more important.
You got 60 seconds for commercial.
All right, 60 seconds. And then, Mark, do you have a few more minutes to hang around?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead, Browner. Set it up.
With the deadline moves that were made, I think that this team is in perfect position to make a legit run at it by having the pitcher only having to get to the 6th inning. Do you like the formula that this team is now set up to compete with?
I do, absolutely. Yeah, I thought it was a very savvy move by A.J. Preller and team on the front office side, the baseball operations side. I think they looked at it, and the starting pitching market was so expensive. Mm-hmm. There's another way to go about it. Build that dominant bullpen. And to your point, if you get 5-6 innings with a lead, man, I'm feeling good. Turn it over to Morahone and Estrada, Adams, Scott, and Suarez, of course, in the back end.
Well, Mark, hold that thought for one quick second. Yeah. Let us hit this quick break. It's only 2 minutes. We'll come back more with Mark Loretta on the NL West. Coming right back on Kaplan and Crew.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Red Sox, and he is a longtime great friend of the show. Mark, let me jump right back in here. We are biased, of course. We saw what Jackson Merrill did last night with 2 home runs. This kid has had an amazing rookie season. I find it to be shocking that a kid could walk into baseball this early in his career as a 20-year-old kid, turn 21, and have the sort of impact that he's having. But we're playing against Pittsburgh right now. And when you look at the Rookie of the Year competition, you got Jackson Merrill at plus 1,400, and you've got, you know, the pitcher Skeens at minus 6,000, meaning everybody thinks Skeens is the favorite to win this thing. We're all biased around here. We'll acknowledge that. But what do you think about the season that Jackson Merrill has had and potentially the competition for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, first of all, I'm biased as well. I always feel like a position player, even if a starting pitcher is so dominant, is more valuable in the long haul. But having said that, Jackson, you know, what a breath of fresh air. He comes in, to your point, as a 20-year-old, switching positions. You know, literally, the first time he ever played center field, was in spring training this year. He's an excellent shortstop, but as you know, we have several shortstops on the roster. The biggest thing about Jackson that I've seen is his ability to make adjustments. There have been a few times when he's sort of, you know, looked like he's getting a little overmatched for a couple games, and you're thinking, okay, here we go. You know, here comes his slide, and he's made that adjustment. Now he'll have to keep doing that going forward too. There is such a thing as a sophomore slump where the league adjusts to you, but he has shown the ability to make that adjustment very quickly, and to me, that's a sign of a great player.
Something that I thought people were going to adjust to was Jerks and Profar, and that has not happened. I was expecting, you know, that hot start to just be a hot start. But this guy is the MVP of the team, hands down, leads the team in every statistical major category. Where did that come from? And has he basically tied A.J. Preller's hands behind his back and making him like, oh, I got to sign this guy again?
Yeah, I would look to sign him for sure. I think there's a lot of mutual interest. You know, I think Pro has felt very comfortable in San Diego. He went away to Colorado last year, didn't feel as comfortable. Now he's back. I think there's a lot of mutual respect there, of course. But I think, you know, I look back at my career and I feel like Profar is having kind of a similar year to that I had in 2004, where, you know, I'd been a veteran in the league, but that year in particular, I knew I was going to play second base every year, much like Profar. I knew he was going to be the starting left fielder, and he just got off to a good start. Everything kind of hit hard, fell in early, and that just builds confidence, and it snowballs to the point where, you know, this is his dream year, and he's been a good player. Injuries have derailed him in the past, He was the number one prospect in baseball when he first came up. So it's in there. And now I think the comfort level, the health, the confidence, all those things put together have just enabled him to have a career year.
Are you ever wearing your MV Profar t-shirt that we got for you? Do you have
Yes,
yours?
sir. Yeah, not today.
You like it?
I got the GOAT on.
Oh, you got the GOAT on right now.
Side of golf. But yeah, that's a good one. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see you rock this MV Profar t-shirt, man.
I just shot like 130 all over that golf course the other day. A lot of my Callaways spread. A lot of my Callaways. Yeah, that's how good I am. A lot of my Callaway balls just spread all over the park, you know?
Yeah, that's marketing. Is what that is. We're marketing for Callaway. Go ahead, Brown.
Mark, so when you make such, drastic changes to your bullpen and then things go well, or you make any trade deadline deal and you see the momentum continue to go once you bring these new guys in, what kind of feeling does that create around the team?
It's awesome. I mean, first of all, the fact that the team goes out and makes moves always energizes a team, no matter what. But to your point, it doesn't always work out right.
Right.
Guys might not do as well. Maybe they're nervous. Maybe they're trying to impress. But when you have early success with the new guys, and I think they're even going to be better once they get settled in. A guy like Scott and Adam, I think, still is kind of finding their footing here with the Padres. But it's just it just shows the players that the organization is behind them 100%, and that is important because that's not always the case.
I guess this is part of that question too. When you are traded to a place, do you feel pressure? Because I know it's human nature when someone trades for you that you feel like you need to, step your game up. But when you get traded into a situation like this where everything is moving forward, do you feel a little bit of extra pressure when you get to a new place to be successful?
Absolutely. Yeah, because you know that this team went out and spent a bunch of capital to get you, right? A lot of prospects or whatever it was, and you want to show up for that team. You feel good that they sought you out, got you, and the other part of it is hey, I want to show them what I can do, and I want to make it worth their while to get me. And I think sometimes players take that too far, but my guess is with this group, and since we have some pretty good arms in the pen with Flores and those guys, I think it'll be pretty smooth for them. And I think pitching too is a little bit different than say a hitter coming over and pressing. I got to get a hit. I got to get a home run. Pitchers, they do what they do, and generally that works out probably as good as any other acquisition.
Mark Loretta is here on Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man, wherever you're listening around the country on Sirius XM channel 159. We're glad you guys are here. Everybody who's watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, all over SportsGrid TV. Hey, Mark, before you go, just give us a comment as to what you think about what's going on with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, since now all three teams are kind of lumped together.
I think it's going to be a heck of a race. Like to your point earlier, the Dodgers are down a little bit. They've had some injuries. It was an unfortunate situation with Freddie and his family. I hope that's ironed out for them. But hey, utmost respect for the Dodgers. They've been there. They've done that. Dave Roberts, as you know, is a great friend. So I expect him to play better here down the stretch. In Arizona, they went to the World Series last year. So I'm sure the Dodgers are feeling a little bit of heat with two teams who will be right on their heels. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this division. And to your point, my feeling is, whoever wins the division, I do think the other two teams probably make the playoffs as well. So that'll be fun also.
Hey, Mark, before you go, did you happen to go down to Petco last night? You see Alex is wearing that Foo Fighters t-shirt. Did you go to the Foo Fighters last night?
I did not go to the Foo Fighters, no.
I know, me neither.
Pretty epic. On it. My first time ever seeing him. Very, very good.
Favorite song?
Best of Me. Best of You.
Yeah,
whatever.
great song.
And so good.
Yeah.
So
I know.
good.
Hey, Mark, we got to hustle.
Our next concert, by the way, Scott, just to promote this concert at Petco, is kind of old school Journey, Def Leppard.
I know, Def Leppard
Steve Miller.
and Steve Miller. I know, we got to hit this break. Hold on. Stay right where you are. Hold on. This is Kaplan and Crew.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start, and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, like, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're legit 5 deep at receivers. 7 bona fide pass target deals. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. He was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
A stadium show for this reason. Okay, Steve Miller. I've seen Steve Miller many, many times. At this point, Steve Miller does not sing. I mean, he stands there and somebody else is singing in the background. I'm not trying to knock the guy because I love all of his songs. Def Leppard, okay, all right. I would see Def Leppard even now. And Journey, I love Journey. I'll sing every word to every Journey song. And for some reason, I got this hang up in my head about Steve Perry versus the guy who sings for them now. When is that concert, by the way?
I have to check my calendar, but I think it's
you don't know.
August 30th.
I'm asking you
August 30th.
I'm asking you like you're supposed to know the date.
August 30th.
No, Steve Miller was the first concert I ever saw. It was at the Universal Studios Amphitheater in Los Angeles, and we were 17 years old. It was the most exciting thing ever. I think somebody secured a party ball. Do you guys remember what that was? It was
Coors Light party ball.
A little Coors Light thing in a box, but you put ice in it, and we're like, oh my god!
Yes.
And the good thing about having those 3 bands too is you know they're going to play every mega hit. It's not going to be like, oh, here's our new album. You got to sit through that and then listen to a few other things. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Just to give a shout out to the Padres production team. What they've done with the concerts in the stadium and then also at Gallagher Square now. And you guys have been out there. They renovated it. There's been some great shows there. So that's really the promise of Petco when it was open was it was going to be a multi-use stadium, and it's now become really a first-class concert venue. There's rodeos, there's all kinds of stuff. So they're using it very well, in my opinion.
Got Jane's Addiction, August 11th. You have Journey, Def Leppard, Steve Miller, August 30th. Scott, they got Pink and Sheryl Crow, September 11th.
September 11th. Oh, yeah. Dude, but I love Pink. Pink is great. I've seen Pink a bunch of times. She's amazing. Wow, Pink and Sheryl Crow on September 11th. Wow.
Green Day, September 28th. I'm just reading the ones you would go to, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Green Day. I'm like, wow, they're 45,000 for Green Day, really?
And then Post Malone.
And what's cool too is we had Zach Bryan, not we. The Padres had Zach Bryan out at Gallagher Square a couple years ago, and it was like, oh, it's an up and coming guy. And then 2 years later, he sold out 2 shows in the big bowl, and now he's like the biggest thing since sliced bread. So it's pretty cool to see that progression.
Yeah, I think I'm going to Gallagher Square back-to-back Saturdays in September. I think I'm going to go to Chromeo, and I think I'm going to go to Two Door Cinema. Well, I'm going to Two Door Cinema Club. Chromeo I'm trying to get to as well. Dude, Gallagher Square has turned into one of the best concert venues in San Diego.
It's awesome. It's incredible.
Mark Loretta, it is great to be with you always, man. I hope you're enjoying your summer. I hope you've gotten a chance to enjoy the kids who have probably come home from college for a little bit, and it is great to see him. By the way, you're looking so sharp in those glasses. I have fought forever wearing readers, but I got a pair now. I can't help it. Now I got a pair.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time, buddy. Father Time is undefeated, and don't fight it anymore. Looks good on you.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it.
I'll see you at the track this year, maybe. How's the track going?
Well, hey, how about this? Del Mar, Saturday. Why don't you come join us this Saturday at Del Mar? I've got a couple of horses running here. I'll give you some details. But I've got a couple of horses running this weekend, and I would love to have you out. Have you been out at all?
I've been out one time. Yep, one time. It's always fun. So, let me check the calendar, see what we got going. Like you said, our kids are home for like one more week. So, anyway.
Yeah, we've got a couple of big races on Saturday. In fact, I'm just about sure we're in like the first race, and I want to say like the 8th race. We've got 2 horses running on Saturday. Del Mar, for those of you around the country, you want to play Del Mar, that would be a great thing to do, and I'll have more details for you. Mark, we'll talk to you real soon. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
All right,
Thanks, Mark.
appreciate it. Hey, speaking of which, how much time do I have here, Alex?
90 seconds.
Okay, great. This will give me time. Hey, we have a new partner here on the show. And this new partnership is with a bar restaurant group down in downtown San Diego. So if you're coming into San Diego at any point this summer, this is going to be the place to be. Gaslamp Tavern, Revel, and Paddock on 5th. Now, Paddock on 5th is like the 3rd level, and it's the off-track betting bar restaurant. So our man Rick down there, he's like, dude, we are the only people around that have an off-track betting license. They've got 20 different TVs. So if you want to play Del Mar or Saratoga or any other track that you might be interested in, plus Browner is getting ready to go down there. Browner, is it today?
I'm going down there today. And for all the fantasy football chaplains, the discussion, there might be a little sweet in the pot coming up after today's conversation.
Oh, I saw the email last night from Rick about what Rick wants to do for us hosting our fantasy football draft down there at Gaslamp Tavern. In fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put together a party. We were supposed to do the yacht trip and it didn't work out. Let's go to Gaslamp Tavern and just have everybody meet us there. What do you think about that, Brown?
That's a solid idea.
It is a good idea. So you got great food, great drinks. They're going to get Browner an espresso martini, espresso. He loves an espresso.
There you go. Get it right.
For those of you watching, click on the QR code, learn all about what's happening at Gaslamp Tavern, and really take advantage of Paddock on 5th, where you can bet Del Mar from downtown San Diego. All right, everybody stay right where you are. The NFL preseason is going to kick off tonight. I want to talk about that coming right back. This is Kaplan and Crew.
What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand, right back from Mike Perry. Now 3-0 in BKFC.
Could I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Perry on the turn, coming forward. Right hand from Mike Perry, double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all